to just have a little chat for you guys. Kimberly is a therapist, a creator, a mom herself, and is a absolutely wonderful person who is here to interview Presley from Acting Out Games, her channel. And I'll let you guys really take it away and get this conversation started. So,
thank you, Caitlin. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Thank you.
So, thank you all for staying for our chat. We're really excited to talk to you, and I think, I've had a chance to get to know Presley over the last week or so. I've had a chat with her dad. We've had chats together, and I think, from my perspective, I think that Presley is kind of like a beacon of hope for all of us female creators because we've had certain struggles, and I don't know, I think everyone in this room would probably admit that there are certain challenges that we face as female creators, and it's really cool and inspiring to see a young, extremely bright, talented creator like Presley, who's a woman, who's doing things her own way, and she's really successful at it. So I was hoping that over the next little while we can get to know Presley a little bit better, and at the end we'll open up the floor for Q&A, and maybe, I think that, you guys can get involved. We'll have a discussion first and foremost here so that we can kind of talk about some of the issues and hear Presley's perspective on some of these issues as well. I will tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Doctor Kimberly, and I'm a relationship therapist. My channel is called Ask Kimberly, so it's like a science-based relationship channel where I answer people's questions about relationships, but do it in a concise manner. And I've been on YouTube for about a year. I have a brother who's a YouTuber. His name is Mitch from ASAP Science, and so he inspired me to kind of get into the YouTube space and start making videos. I'm the proud employer of 24 women and 1 man in my practice KMA therapy, which is in Toronto. So I'm really pleased to see Presley sitting here. In all the conversations that we've had, I've been so impressed with all of the things that she's had to say and what she's done on her channel. So Presley, why don't, for all of the people here who don't know about you, can you tell them a little bit about you and your channel and what your message is?
First of all, thank you so much. My channel is Act Out Games, and I do all sorts of content. I do toys, I do science, and I do actually a series called Presley's Perspective, where I talk about my perspective on current events. So I do all sorts of things, right now I'm also teaching a little bit of Japanese. I'm borderline conversational in that. I can speak pretty well, but I'm not fluent or anything. As well as I'm teaching basic physics, and I do a little bit of chemistry as well.
Amazing. I think that in itself deserves a round of applause. So one thing I learned that I thought was really interesting about Presley is that she started on YouTube 2.5 years ago, and she actually uploads a video every single day.
I do a daily vlog, and I've been doing it for 2.5 years now without missing a day. But it's just a really big part of my life, and I really definitely enjoy doing daily vlogging.
Definitely. And actually, when I was first getting introduced to Presley, I learned that you famously made another YouTuber cry, right, at VidCon one year?
Yep. 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago, I made John Green cry by telling, I was at the EDU panel at VidCon, and I was sitting in the audience, and I talked about how all of the people up there were my favorite teachers. And he remembers my name, and it was just really cool. So it was amazing. It was a really amazing time to be able to actually make John Green cry.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I think your dad was actually telling me about a stressful time that you guys had once when you were camping or something, and you couldn't get to the internet, the Wi-Fi, and you had a video to upload, so your dad had to drive an hour in the other direction just to get to a gas station where you guys could upload your video. And I think that just demonstrates how dedicated you've been to your channel over the last couple years.
To be fair, we did get to go to an alligator farm that was over there, so that was pretty cool.
still a kid.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're still a kid. And a lot of the stuff that you talk about on your channel is related to kids and is applicable to kids, right?
Yes. I do lots of toy stuff, and one of my favorite things is I do toy stuff, and then the kids that came to my channel to watch my toy stuff, go and then they go over and they learn about science and Japanese and current events that are going on. Like, that's one of the really cool things that comes with doing a channel with all those different kinds of things on them, where someone can come for one thing and learn about all the others.
Definitely. So you're kind of hooking them in with something catchy, and then you're teaching them something when they get there, right?
Yeah.
So, and who are the majority of your viewers?
The majority of my viewers seem to be kids, but there's definitely a lot of different people that watch my videos.
Okay. So and one of the things that we talked about as well is that since Presley is a kid herself, she's 10 actually, is that sometimes when people see a kid teaching something, that it can be a lot less intimidating to learn something from a kid, right?
Yeah, what I feel like is when there is someone that is learning from an adult, like they do see it more as like, this person is my teacher and I need to memorize what they're going to say. Well, if they're doing it if they're looking and learning from a younger kid, it's more like maybe one of their friends are telling them fun facts about a subject that they like, or something like that, as well as it seems a lot less daunting to not feel like you have to memorize the stuff that they say.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think that it sounds like a lot of your viewers are regular viewers, right? They've almost become like your friends, like people that watch you on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Like, especially to see the people that have been watching me, ever since I had, 300 subscribers. And, I was in my first few hundred days. And, see them, here, now, and I've been going for, way longer. And it's really cool to see fans that have been fans of me for a really long time.
Absolutely. And so I have a fun fact. So this is something that we were talking about a little bit on Skype. But interestingly, studies have shown that success, and this is something that actually I've been hearing a lot of today, because a lot of girls on YouTube get negative, hateful comments on their channel. And that's something that we all, it's like the bane of our existence, right? We're like, how do we deal with these negative comments? And one thing, I think I have the answer to actually why this is happening to women more. And studies have actually shown that success and likability are positively correlated for men, and success and likability are negatively correlated for women. This is across the board. So what that means is that if a man is successful, studies have shown that more people will like him. And if a woman is successful, studies show that people's opinion of her is that maybe she's selfish, she's not a good person to work for, she's maybe just not a likable person. But either way, this is happening, and it is kind of a proven fact, right? So
yeah, it's really weird that's a fact. That with women, that people think they're selfish if they're big, but with men they think that, oh, they're nice and they're big and they must have earned their subscribers, and people must have liked them. And it's the same way around for women. They will people will subscribe to people because they like their content. And not all women would just get super selfish because they have lots of subscribers.
I totally agree with that. I think the reason why this happens is because the historical view of men and women is that men are people who have to go hunting and provide for the family and ultimately be very successful. And then, a woman's traditional role in history has been to really nurture the family and protect them and be communal, right? To share with other people. And so from a psychological perspective, when we see a woman, whether we're a guy or girl, because let's be real, we've torn all of us girls in here have been active in tearing other girls down. I hate to say it, but it's true. When we see another girl who's successful, we're likely to say, wow, she doesn't fit with the traditional view of what a woman should be. And I think that that's something we need to change. I'm curious about your channel, Presley. On your channel, what are some of the comments that you get in terms of hate, and how have you dealt with that?
Well, I get a lot of "Are you a boy or a girl?" comments, and half of them are people actually interested on learning whether I am a boy or a girl. but some of them just feel rude in a way that I can't quite put my finger on. They just feel rude. As well as there's people that comment on some of my videos, like reviewing Monster High dolls or playing with Littlest Pet Shops. And they say, boys can't play with that. And they're wrong because boys can play with that, as well as I'm a girl. So it's just, like, they're wrong in two ways. So, like, when I don't respond to the hate comments because, like, it's kind of like a little bit of behavioral stuff. Like if they see people getting positive responses from being positive, then they'll think, oh, maybe I should be positive, and I get positive responses as well. As well as like giving them attention is what they want. And I don't want to give these people that are being hateful towards me what they want. I don't want to give them attention. But the thing is, when I don't give them attention, sometimes some of the people that watch me will give them attention, and like people giving them attention, it's giving them attention anyways. Like even if they're not giving attention to me, even if they're not gaining the attention from me, they're gaining the attention that they want anyway.
Do you think that some of those comments are an opportunity to help educate people? Maybe people who, I think one of the comments that we talked about on your channel was, Presley has short hair. Is she transgender? And I mean, that's like a jaw dropper, right? Like this is wrong on so many levels, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a plan to maybe help educate some of these people, or to help them in a way?
Well, I do just want to like say, no, I am not, and short hair does not equal that I'm transgender. That's not how it works. Transgender people are people that are not identifying with the gender that they are assigned with at birth. That is, and having short hair doesn't make me transgender. Sure, it makes me like look like maybe to some people a boy, but that does not mean that I am in fact identifying as a boy.
Correct. So, yeah. So that's nice though. And do you ever respond to those comments, or have you ever put out a video that's kind of helping those people understand that? Or I mean, some of these people are your fans, right? That watch your video and.
Like with Presley's Perspectives, we have talked a little bit about transgender people, but I mean, I guess we haven't talked about it too much. Like we talked about it in a video that was like talking about transgender people. So like maybe if we could talk again like fully on transgender people, because the video wasn't solely on transgender people. So like if we talked a whole video about who these people are and like how they're transgender and how I'm not transgender just because I have short hair.
Yeah, I think that would be a really positive message for people to hear, right? And especially coming from you too, and it being your authentic self, and just kind of saying, yes, this does not equal this other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I had another question, but I kind of forgot what it was. Oh yeah, when we think about kind of the STEAM field as a whole, right? You're somebody who's obviously into sciences and potentially some of the other things as well, like technology, potentially mathematics as well, and arts, right? Because you are you are doing a lot of different things on YouTube. What do you think are some of, like, as a young woman in the STEAM field, what do you think are some of the challenges that women are having today?
I mean, I hardly have to deal with like any of the challenges that the women in STEAM fields right now are dealing with. Like, there are so many amazing women in STEAM fields, and they are staying in their STEAM fields. And a lot of times when they go into those STEAM fields, they're the only woman there. But they're staying in those STEAM fields to make people my age be able, like, when we're older, to be able to go into those STEM fields. And they won't be the only person in that STEAM field because the woman was there. And that is just so amazing. So I wanted to say a big thank you to all of the women in STEAM right now, and they're making it a better place. And they're fighting against being the only woman there. They're fighting against it being a boys' club. And I just want to thank you so much for doing that. And you're making it possible for all sorts of girls to be able to make it into their STEAM careers without having to fight as much as they did.
Definitely. And we talked a little bit on Skype as well about this, that a lot of women are being encouraged to enter STEAM fields, right? Like when women are your age, when they're young, people will say, oh, like you're so smart, like you should go for it. And then we have this problem of like women dropping out of the STEAM fields as they kind of progress into their career. So women are continuing to outpace men in terms of their education, which is amazing. So now today more women have PhDs than ever, more women have master's degrees than ever, and bachelor's degrees and all of that. But men are still making more money. So women are making 77 cents on the dollar to men. And only 15% of people in top leadership positions are women. 85% of top leadership positions are still held by men, and that goes to my field as well, which is the psychology field. So what do you have to say to some of those women who are feeling a little bit discouraged?
Well, actually, I had like a fact when you were talking about how big company leaders. There are more big company leaders named. There are more men named John that are big company leaders than women. What? Than women. Which is a horrible thing. So don't be discouraged and go up there, and you could change that fact just by going and achieving what you wanted to. Then you are changing the fact of making it be like, oh, I can't do that because I'm a woman. You can, and you're going to make it so in the future with people, the next generation, when they go in, they'll think that they'll be able to do it because there was an amazing person, that was you, in there that did it.
That's amazing. So what would you say then to people who are on YouTube, who are thinking about becoming, going into the STEAM field or pursuing YouTube more as a career than a hobby? What would you say to some of those people from your perspective now, knowing what you know?
Just go for it. Start making STEAM content, and maybe you'll start getting hate, and people will be rude to you because you're starting out on STEAM and you're a woman in STEAM on YouTube. But just ignore that hate, because when there's hate, there's going to be people that are positive about you as well. And there's always going to be more positivity than there is hate. Like, there's going to be people supporting you, like, especially because some parts of the internet, people have begun to be way more positive and accepting. So you can just, like, if they see you getting hate because of who you are, then there'll be people that are going to be positive to you, and you're just going, like, don't think less of yourself because you are who you are.
I agree with you totally. Now, we had a challenge, right? Should we tell them now, or should we tell them after the Q&A?
Should we? Yeah, sure, let's tell them a challenge.
Should we tell them it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So our challenge is, I challenge all of the people in this room to collaborate with one another. Like, make sure you have a collaboration that happens. So talk to someone and agree to make a collaboration. Like, I don't care when it is, just make a collaboration by the end of the year and collaborate, and like working together, we can make the world a more comfortable place for women. And we can like work together and build a base where more people can slowly climb onto until we can push towards the change.
And we also thought that in the next hour, like when everyone's socializing, like this would be an amazing time to like empower one other female creator by kind of like making the actual plans to do something instead of just being like, oh, we'll collaborate, like make the plans, do it, because like we think that it's encouraging for everyone, and and we are so looking forward to like seeing how your career evolves, Presley. Like, I'm so excited probably to see you in a number of years when you become a teenager and kind of see what kind of stuff you're doing on YouTube then, and to know that you're so bright now and you're already doing so much. It's really, really exciting. So why don't we open the floor to some Q&A questions for Presley?
Yes.
So how do you navigate what you're doing on YouTube and figuring out kind of like what content you're going to do, and do you focus on kind of like the business or optimization side of YouTube, and where do you learn all of that from?
Well, Well, how we find out about what we're going to do is, well, certain days we have certain things that we're going to do. Me and my parents and my little brother. Our family works together on the channel. But like, there's certain days that we do stuff. There's Science Sunday, Toy Saturday. There's the Minion Vlog, which is blind bags on Wednesday, which is kind of funny because Radio JH Audrey up there has blind bag Wednesday, and then it turned out that we were also having blind bags on Wednesday. And then we have Craft Monday, and I don't know why, but I want to say there's something on Thursday, even though there isn't. But those days we know we know what kind of content we're going to put out. But for our free days, sometimes we just do vlogs where we vlog what we're doing. Like if we're going to a store, then we vlog our trip to the store. Or if we are traveling, which we do a lot, then we vlog our travels and stuff like that. So like we are just kind of a channel where we post what we're doing that day, really. Like if we're gonna if it's Saturday and we're gonna open a toy, then we pick out a toy that I want to open and we open it. And if it's Science Sunday, we do a science experiment that I've been interested in for a while. So it's really just a channel where we can have and do things that we wish that we could and that we want to do. So it's just we don't have too much. We have our schedule, but we don't have too much of what we need to do on those days.
Hi. So do you see yourself in the future as your dream to be a YouTuber, or do you have other aspirations? Like, where do you see your career going when you grow up?
I mean, I really want to keep doing YouTube and keep doing my daily vlog, and I want to have win for people that I'm going to be related to or people that want to know about me, to have this almost lifelong documentation of what I've been doing. And I want to be able to have that going. And as for what I want to do as a career, I'm not entirely sure. I definitely want to do something in a STEAM field, and probably something to do with animals. I don't really have a certain thing.
What inspired you to start making videos?
Well, I watched all sorts of vlog channels. I watched mainly CTFXC and the Shaytards, and I watched them and they did vlogs. And then eventually my dad and my mom just suggested, they said that there's nothing that makes them specifically able to do vlogs. Anyone could do that. So I just gave it a try, and here I am now. And I watch all sorts of people on YouTube. The YouTubers that I'm watching are constantly changing, but they inspire me to do different things. Like the Mommy and Gracie Show and Radio JH Audrey and all sorts of people have inspired me to do my toy videos. And then I also watch a lot of gaming videos, and they inspired me to do a gaming channel. And whoever I'm watching starts to inspire more of what I'm doing. As well as the EDU people, they inspire me to do my science content and all sorts of stuff like that.
As a 10-year-old girl, what do you want to see on our channels? What do you feel is missing and that you want to see as us being female creators? You're making me nervous. So articulate. What do you want to see from us? What do you feel is not there that you want to see yourself mirrored in or whatever?
Well, I just want to see more content that is super duper empowering and saying, you can do this too. And especially DIY science content. Science content that girls can do in their home. Like oobleck, most people have cornstarch and water, so they can make that. And they can do a science experiment themselves. So I want to be able to see more science experiments that little girls that want to get into STEAM, specifically the S in STEAM, science, they can do those experiments. Or technology, homemade technology. I just want to see DIY STEAM things that little girls and everyone that wants to get into STEAM can look at. I also want to see a little bit more content that's like teaching little boys that it's okay for girls to be in STEAM, and that it is completely fine, and that they should be supportive of any girls. If they get into a STEAM career, then they should be supportive of all the girls there. And like one of the recent things that happened is Target actually took this shirt that was a Princess Leia and Vader arguing, which is a very, very iconic scene from Star Wars, and they changed Leia into Luke and sold it as a boys shirt because for some reason boys can't have a strong girl on their shirts. So like that needs to be something that can be changed. Like there should be things like boys, that it's okay for like in the boys section to have a picture of a really strong girl on their shirt and be supportive of that girl and have them on their shirt.
Woohoo!
Yes?
Yeah. So to her question, you're saying that like you wish that there was more content, particularly with like women, that's empowering. What do you think is stopping girls and women from starting YouTube channels?
I mean, there's nothing specifically holding them back from being able to do it. Like, you just need anything that can record and something to put it on YouTube with. Like, when you're gonna make videos, to make a good video, you're gonna have to make a lot of bad ones first. So, my first video is shot, I'm pretty sure my first video is shot vertically, and I'm in my pajamas. So, yeah, what's stopping them, really, what's making them not want to be able to do it is probably, like, the pressure on them, because, people are, like, misogyny and sexism, and people are all like, no, you can't do this, because you're a girl. But they are able to do that, and they should be able to push their, like, there should be content that tells them that if people say that, then they should prove them wrong, and they should be able to do this, and they should make a YouTube channel. They should do what people are saying they can't because they're a girl.
I know this is a weird question, but I'm curious, like, how does it work with like you being at school and stuff? Do the other, like, kids and stuff find it interesting, like, that you're on YouTube, or does it affect the way that, like, I don't know, does it, like, inspire them to maybe kind of do what you're doing?
Well, I'm homeschooled, but I do have a little, enrichment that I go to usually every Friday. So and we call that school, so I can still answer your question in terms of that. So I do have a friend that I kind of made because of my YouTube channel. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that, like, I keep telling my friends that if they want to do the same thing that I'm doing, then they should just go for it. And I told them the same thing that I just said, like, you have to make a lot of bad videos to make good ones. But yeah, I think that I could definitely inspire some of my friends if they really wanted to make videos.
But it takes a good work ethic, right? You gotta work.
Yeah, you definitely have to, like, work hard and make sure that it's what you want to do. If you're gonna make videos, like, you're gonna have to work hard. You're not just gonna crank out perfect videos immediately. You're going to have to, like, work hard for being able to make your videos. Like, and a huge thank you to my parents who help me a lot with my videos. Like, they shoot and edit, and like that is something that I wouldn't be able to still have my channel, like, if it wasn't for them. Like, or my channel would just be entirely iPhone shot videos that are like a minute long.
I mean, you say something about bravery, right? Like, you have to have the work ethic, and then you also have to, you know, be willing to put yourself out there. I'm thinking of, like, a friend that I have, a girlfriend, who, like, a year ago when I was starting my channel, she says, man, like, I really want to do, like, a beauty vlog. And we talked about it a lot, and I said, well, you can come to my office and, like, use my equipment, and, like, everything would be totally set up for you. And she says, you know, well, if I do that, you know, I'm worried that, like, people at my work will, like, make fun of me. And I said, well, you can't really worry about that, right? But it's weird. Like, I started my channel and she didn't, and now every time we talk about, or every time she asks about my channel, I feel kind of bad because I say, well, like, it could have been, like, she could have started a channel at the exact same time, and you know, and it's just hard, like, to not do something because you're scared. I think, like, one of the biggest lessons, or one of the biggest things we can do in this life is have courage. and you're like the perfect example of someone. And sometimes people even say you're so young that it's easy to have courage, but I think you have courage nonetheless. Like to come up in front of an audience of people who are twice and 3 times your age and talk to them, I think that takes a lot of courage. And I am like your #1 fan, Presley. I hope my 2-year-old daughter will grow up to be just like you.
Thank you.